Alright, so in this video I want to explain how I went from basically a window here, as you see in my kitchen, to a patio door, a slider door. And I had to build everything inside to support this door. So I started basically by scoring the molding around the sides, which is just cutting the paint or caulk that's holding it, so that's easier to remove. And here's me removing it with a hammer, just using nothing fancy here. And just removing that, going along the edges. Don't mind the camera work. It's my 4-year-old daughter, Sophia. If you guys wouldn't mind just giving her a little shout out in comments, she would be thrilled. So next I had to go outside and start removing the siding, which I basically just did by hand. I just pulled it out. It's pretty easy to do. And it's just clipped on the bottom. So once you pull the nailers out the top, all you need to do is just pop the bottom down, and it'll come apart pretty easy. So next I wanted to remove the window, which had nailers all around. So this is me with my my hammer and my pry bar, just prying everything apart. There's Sophia there, and just prying all the nails out so I can get this window out, because I'm actually going to reuse it eventually on another wall. So here's another shot of that. A little bit of a struggle there, not as easy as it looks always, because this is actually caulked in around the nailer. And I finally got it right here, it looks like. I think this is the part where I got it, and here it goes. Alrighty, so now that we're back inside, I'm just scoring the molding now. I figured I better remove that. Same thing, just cutting the caulk and paint off of it so it comes off easier, because that stuff kind of just glues it on. And now that I'm done that, I wanted to remove the window frame all around the edges. This is the framing for the window. Definitely not necessary, because there's going to be a door here eventually. And now I decided that I wanted to have the door start around 4 feet from the wall there, where the old door is. And I'm measuring that out with my T-square there, which is 4 feet. But then I realized there's a stud right here. So I was like, you know what? 4 feet isn't something I have to have. So I'm going to go off of this stud, because that would make a lot more sense. So I just marked some points on my stud. Found this, what I thought was the center of the stud. Took my chalk line, put a screw in the top of the wall at that mark. Chalk line, held it tight and pull it. And then the chalk line will basically, it's just a piece of string in a little reservoir full of chalk, and it leaves a line. So I did that for the top too. I determined my rough opening, which my manufacturer told me was 80 inches tall by 72 inches wide. So I have an 80-inch tall by 72-inch wide patio door, but the rough opening is that actual measurement. The door is actually about a ½ inch or so smaller on each side and the top, so that when you make that rough opening, you'll fit in there with a little space to go. So this is just me scoring the drywall with a razor knife, because I'm going to need to remove the drywall next. A little more of that. I know this is a bit tedious, but I just want to show you as many of the steps of prepping this area as possible, because the prep is really the hard part. And this is just a little more scoring of that. What an artistic shot, right? You can see my tools in the foreground there. And now I'm just basically removing this drywall with my bare hands. There's the kitty cat. And it's really nothing to this. I mean, I like to do a lot of things with my bare hands when I can. I just like the feel of that. But you can use a tool, whatever you need to do. So I'm just kind of prying this out. Now that I cut it all around the sides, it'll break at those cut points. So I just kind of see how it breaks nice and easy at those cut points. So now I'm able to just kind of rip that apart right where I want it. And here's a little skipping ahead. You can see there's insulation in there. I have an electrical outlet that I'm going to deal with, and I'll show you how I do that. And I'm just basically cutting this and making sure that I got all the way through so that it comes off as easy as possible. And a little more of the top, because the thing is, I have to rebuild the framing around this, because the framing is going to be supporting a patio door and not the window. So I have to go all the way to the ceiling, even though the opening isn't really going to be all the way to the ceiling. So I don't even know why I measured the drywall earlier. I just wasn't thinking really. But now I'm just ripping out the insulation, which is actually still good insulation, because it's not that old. So some of it I'm going to just kind of reuse. I'm just going to throw this outside so it's not in my way onto my concrete patio there. And here's the thing. I realized, as you can see in the bottom, that dark spot, I had water damage. So I was glad when I did this that I realized that, because I didn't even know that we had water damage. There was really not much evidence of that. And I'm going to make a second video explaining how I remedied a lot of that. So I'm just removing the electrical outlet. Obviously, I turned the power off, but I always treat electric as if the power's on, just for like kind of good safety measures, you know, just it's a good habit. So this is just unscrewing the outlet, and I'll let you guys know a little trick here. When you get electrical out of the wall for residential, cut the black wires or the white wires first. Cut the same ones, right? Put them to the side. and then cut the other same colors, right? Put the same colors to the side. The ground wire is not a big deal. And then all you need to do is cap off the same color wire. So cap off the 2 whites or the 2 blacks. As long as they don't touch each other, you'll never get shocked. You can touch the black wires individually or together, or the white wires, but just don't complete the circuit by touching both at the same time. That's how you get shocked. Generally, you will not get shocked by just touching black wires or white wires only. But if you touch both, then you get shocked. So now I'm just going to take this box off, and I'm going to fish the wire through so that I can move this, because obviously this can't be there because this is right at the center spot of where our door is going to be roughly. And obviously we're not going to have electric where the door is. So I'm just kind of fishing this through carefully, and I'm going to put that back to the side because I'm going to rerun that later on. And now now that that's done, I'm just going to start the demo process of the actual framing. Really nothing fancy to this. You can cut it with a saw. You can just kind of break it out how I'm doing. I like to just break it out, use a saw when necessary. And as you can see, like I said, that plywood is really water damaged, and I had no clue because that water damage was so hidden under the old siding outside and behind the drywall. So I'm really, really glad that I discovered that and maybe able to rip all that out and kind of remedy this, because it was drafty in the kitchen, and this is probably a big part of the reason. Because once that wood gets water damaged, it's not able to provide the barrier that it's designed to provide. And so this is just a little more of the demo. So now what I'm doing is I am cutting the plywood because I want to cut it nice and even so that it's still good outside. And I'm just kind of make that rough opening by cutting it. So I'm gonna remove this piece here. As you can see, I'll just kind of get that out of the way, let that fall. Get that water damage piece out of there, and I'm almost fell down there. Sometimes this is a little rough, but I'm just removing these 2x4s, getting the rest of the insulation out of the top because we don't need that obviously right now. And I'm just kind of more manual labor of just the manual process of just removing all this stuff. And that's what I want you guys to know. It's just really a manual job, so it's not like really a hard job, it's just manual. So now that I got what we call the jack studs in the sides, you can see that stud and that 2x4 on the left. I'm putting my 2x8s up here and letting them sit. I doubled them up. That's 2x8s thick. So it's 2 of them. So now I'm going to show you in a diagram in 1 second how this was all kind of prepped to support the weight of, distribute the weight going around the door. So I have my 2 jack studs that are supporting the weight of the 2x8. And you can see the 2x8 is right here. They're doubled up. Like I said, they're sitting on the 2x8 and the weight is distributed down those jack studs that go 80 inches up. Then you have 4 cripple studs, which are 16 inches on center, that distribute the weight from the roof to the 2x8 to the jack studs. So it's pretty basic, guys. Not too hard, actually. And now we're getting back to the project. You can see there's the jack studs in action supporting the 2x8 to go all the way down to the floor to that ledger. And here's the other jack stud. It goes right up. And those 2x8s are literally just sitting on there. I mean, they're screwed in. They're towed in, which is like screwed in on an angle. But the screws are really just holding them in place, not actually any weight bearing. So now I'm removing this bottom plate here because that obviously needs to go because I'm sitting on a concrete pad, as you can see. I have a little damage I have to repair. But the door is going to literally sit on that plate. I'm going to put liquid now or silicone caulk on that plate when I put the door in just to seal the bottom of the door. That simple. This is the hardest part of the job, guys. It's not so much replacing the door. The door is the easiest part, which I kind of missed. I'm sorry. But you can see a lot of videos of how the door is actually put in. Once you get the whole opening prepped, it's just replacement of a door. There's a ton of videos on that, but this actual replacement from a window to a door is what you really need to know how to do with the jack studs and the cripples and the 2x8s or 2x6s, whatever you need to use. And I don't have any weight above this, so I was able to not use a temporary wall or anything to support weight because this is just it's a one-story addition. So I was able to just kind of work with what I had and not worry about weight collapsing or anything like that. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope you got something out of it. And if you have any questions, please let me know in comments. I'd really love to answer any. And I have a number part 2 coming with how I did the outside wall because I had some water damage. So please stay tuned for that one because it was a learning experience to say the least for me. Thanks for watching, guys.